out of his skin the other day. Well, Jesse, let's get started. Opening ride for Griffin Colapinto. Snap to slide, controls it. Big belt, inverted, tail blow reverse. That was insane. Running after this inside track with a nice pace. Griffin greases it off the roof. Nice pocket surfing there with a nice snap, and Colapinto throws down the rotation, reverses his finish.
In the most high performance wave, but we'll get back to that after this beautiful A-frame that Griffin took off. Just love the pace right here, how he's being critical but still taking his time, and right there so inverted, and that needs so much of your body and so much of your strength for you to get that going, and right there to regroup and connect the dots nicely through the end and finish it off once again on his foot with a nice blowtail to finish it up. Like the judges are going to eat that up.
Great view here on the IC replay of what it's like to be in the water with Griff at lower trestles.
I mean, look how inverted he's going to get. You're going to see the bottom of his board right here.
Feeling the flow. Joel Vaughan looking to answer. Nice clean connection for the Australian. Going for a big punt. Loses the grab, but wanted to pick up right where he left off.
That just showed the commitment that Griffin was on that wave.
Big throw tail reverse for Joel Vaughan, as he is not holding back at all. 2 falls out of the way, so he's got his warm-ups.
Turn itself requires so much energy, and it pumps your heart up. So for him to regroup and kind of clean up afterwards is impressive.
Rolling in now, feeling the momentum is Griffin Colapinto. Great bottom turn, throwing down the wrapping cutback. Now he's got a cool pace to him now. He's building a lot of speed, big ramp, he'll float it. Setting up a nice open face hook. Reading this wall well, and an absolute hammer of a finishing move.
Just a little bit. So, you know, with that hold back on it, I feel like the judges are kind of noticed that, you know? I mean, he ripped into a beautiful turn off the top, and then when he telegraphed down the line, looked like he was going to go for a big air, but then he goes for the float, and then you're you know, in your mind you're like, oh, okay, I was ready for more, but then he goes back and he rips the bag out of the rest of it, and then he's blowing tail to finish, and you think, okay, him holding back a little bit maybe is something that, you know, he thought about right there. Here we go. We got Joel. Let's see what he does with this one, you guys. Take it away, Joe.
Nice fading wrap for Joel Vaughan. He just wants to ramp up. Now he's chasing, so caught behind for a long time, but he'll go right into a punt attempt. Throwaway for Joel in his first 3 attempts to see the champions crowned today. Griffin and Joel Vaughan still the lineup to themselves. Late decision for Joel to check out the left, just quickly up and out. So Joel hasn't landed anything huge yet. See world number 3, highest seed left in the event. He's got Ethan Ewing coming up next. Joel Vaughan, another throwaway. 5th attempt to land something big and under the priority of Griffin Colapinto. With ramps, it kind of makes sense that Joel's just as talented in the air as well, as he's going to look at this wave. Just pacing himself. There's no wave maximum like there used to be in pro surfing. As we have a wave now setting up, maybe split peak, watching Colapinto set up a nice fade and cut back. Now starting to step on the gas. Wall's growing ahead of him. Now lays down that rail again. Great connection with his rail work. The lip shows up, snap to slide. Colapinto with the wrapping turn. Fun end section approaching, ton of speed. Big chuck tail reverse. Perfect landing.
Obviously on the last section of the wave, I feel like Griffin is going for his best wave so far of the heat. This wave he linked up better. He was very calm throughout this stretched out section, and right here unloaded all that speed that he carried throughout. Wave gets vertical, beautiful board slide, so much control. And when you think he was probably going to hold himself and just finish the wave, went for a beautiful air reverse to finish it off that wave. It was almost a perfect surfed wave if you think about it. I'm not saying it's close to a 10, don't get me wrong, but this is excellent surfing. Didn't catch any rails the whole time, very clean, precise, pushing that back foot. Look how much weight he transferred to the front foot halfway through that turn. He gets so compact on top of the front leg, and that's what it's required for that specific maneuver to get the release. And right here, Eyes it down the section, rotates. Knows exactly that he's gonna land. So much confidence. And we're gonna check that out. Let's see what happens here for Joe. Up and vertical. Wave gets a little bit flatter, so he has to cut that curve short, but he knows he needs to get kind of a backup to get closer to Griffin. Beautiful finner right there.
Calming down, and we still have 8:25 to go in the heat with Joel and Griff. The rookie from North Shelley Beach, Board Riders, is up now. Joel Vaughan throws down a wrap. This one's got a kind of a corner on it, bending towards him, and that'll give him a ramp. Jumps out of the sky, pulls that one off, right into a nice snap to follow. Now winding up again for his second air. This time it's a tail high reverse on the same wave.
And here's a beautiful wave from Joe Vaughan. Starts off a little bit on the flatter side, so he sets himself up, does a cutback, takes his time, makes sure he's not getting ahead of himself. And as the wave starts to steepen up, nice straight air. I felt like it was a little bit more on the sticky side, you know, like the tail was really low compared to what he does, and that's the point of difference right there. You can see the difference of how high the tail was. This angle is going to be great to watch. Look how the tail stayed under the nose of the board the whole time throughout this transitional air right here. He stomps on the back foot, gets some high, but the tail is always below the nose, so the judges are going to take notes of that. But then the point of difference between the first one and the second one is just how committed and how critical it is. Backs it up with a nice setup carve once again, and then he starts to eye down. And then now he's going to push on that back foot, but get that nose nice and low and the tail inverted. So this shows how critical that second air was, and he's going to get rewarded very nicely for that.
Well done. This is shot by Aaron Lieber from the Red Bull Ski. Tail high, great projection, and that'll leave Griffin by himself now to take on this wave. Griff's already got a couple of big eights. Lays down a solid carved and tail release and just steps off. Just shows how in form he is right now.
How's that acceleration on that turn itself? And that's the element of surprise that he can bring to the table, even though he's a very smooth surfer. Like, you did not expect that turn to be the way it is.
You can tell he was just playing with it. Joel, the similar approach. Starting with Griff here.
That's the acceleration. Did you notice like how much speed he got?
Jake Davis happy about that one. A big shakas to everybody, all the way from Sano to Uppers, and Mitch Colapinto still whistling on the lifeguard tower.